Expose the rapists who tried to drag you down. Let history brand and not with any renown. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. He scores people who bled for law and land, and praises the mob that stormed the sacred floor. A coward's grin, a scepter in his hand. He cheers as chaos shatters every door. His pledges rock the meaning nevermore. He tried the truth of treason, gained renown, and still he begs for power, blood, and war. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. No lady liberty, let truth come down. Expose the rapists who tried to drag you down. Let history brand him, not with any renown. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. He turns his back while tyrannies grow bold. He whispers secrets where the hawk should warn. And all for what? Some towers fake in gold. A name embalmed in scandal, loud and worn. No honor here, just falling to be mourned. A fraud and silken jester in a gown. The cost was out for shame we won't adorn. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. Lady liberty, let truth come down. Expose the rapists who tried to drag you down. Let history brand and not with any renown. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. Oh, Lady Liberty, we let you down. Oh, Lady Liberty, we let you down. When truth is lost beneath a gilded name, a great parade as patriotic pride, the people's trust becomes a tarnished flame, extinguished where deception dares to strike. This man does not deserve our loyalty, because he thinks that he is royalty. America! Fuck yeah! King praise in 7876 so you can suck our collective dicks on blown up lies built high on fear and spite. Commands with bluster, rage, and crude disdain. What once was all bent wrong to serve the right, and conscience cries in vain beneath the strain. This man does not deserve our loyalty, because he thinks that he is royalty. America! Fuck yeah! King brains in 7876 so you can suck our collective dicks. No kids! The motherfucker must go! No kids! Straight to jail! No kids! Or we can show! No kids! Him the gates of hell! He mocks the weak, the weary, and the poor, yet calls it strength to trample those below. The soul of service darkened at its core. What seeds he sowed, we're reaping what we sow. This man does not deserve our loyalty, because he thinks that he is royalty. America! Fuck yeah! King Brave since 7076 so you can suck a collective dick. And time will move on, and truth frequents its stage. No crown can outlast the people's rightful right. And time will move on, and truth reclaims its stage. No crown can outlast the people's rightful rage. Baldo people!
time for the throw punch! Oh, yes. So, I'm going to address this comment real fast. Nobody wants to sit through minute upon minute of screaming, waiting for a video to start. Well, then don't. The show starts at 7 Eastern, not 6:30. I mean, technically, it started at 6:30 by the strictest definition, but like, it's literally just there so that I can decompress and maybe make $10 on selling an album. I don't know. Anyway, that's the comment that I'm going to address. So if you don't like it, nobody forced you to listen. You wait 30 minutes till the damn show starts.
I don't know. It would be kind of funny if it was actually just screaming.
I mean,
I can do
happen.
that.
Yeah.
I can definitely do that.
Max
I
Whedon.
can definitely put together 30 minutes of screaming.
Not the worst suggestion we've had.
The important thing is personal responsibility. You can turn it off and come back at 7, as stated in the description, in the literature, sir.
Or don't, because about that.
We're professionals, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that in mind.
This is what we
703. Hell yeah, we got Shelby Campbell. I said Shelly because I'm staring at something else, not because
It's
I'm
okay.
illiterate. I mean, I am illiterate, but
are you looking at?
That's a different problem.
Is it the 8647 shells? 8647 shells? That's what you were looking at.
No, I have
8647 shells. Oh Lord, it's not
I
funny
have
anymore.
monitors, and one of them is I've got Shelley Duvall on there for reasons.
Shelby.
Shelby. So I have said terrible things about Michigan in the past, and there's a good personal reason for that. My ex-wife is from the UP, and there is definitely no love between us. So I don't like the Red Wings. I don't like anything that she likes.
We're off to a good start.
We are just for tonight, because I read through your bio that you have on your website, and my sweet beloved booking coordinator Janet put together like a little briefing for us to kind of get to know you before the show, and I gotta say, you're fucking hardcore, and I would have you in my foxhole any day of the week. Like, I don't know what you've gone through, and I kind of want to get into that, because there's stuff on your website that I'm like, oh, this is a real motherfucker right here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm
I swear a
union
lot.
brat,
You
so
probably don't. I don't know, but
no, I do. It's fine. I worked in a factory, so
then you can cut loose with however many F-bombs, whether it's 0 or all of them. I don't, anyway. Chat, if you have not gone to Shelby's website, and it's soup the number 4 changed because Campbell soup, get it? Duh. Go check out her site. There's none of this pretty bullshit about like, well, when I'm elected, I'm going to give everybody sunshine and roses. No. Shelby is like, this is who I am, and if you don't like me, sorry.
No, it is absolutely real. It's perfectly Detroit, right? Like, it is.
We need
it's hardcore, man.
We need 500 Shelbys running for Congress.
Yes.
That's what we need.
Well, thanks, you guys. Yeah.
Tell us about yourself, because I'm doing a terrible job of like just.
So basically, I'm from Illinois because my factory shut down and I had to move out to Michigan in 2020. Corporate greed. So I know, like, from experience what it's like because they're going to reopen my factory in Illinois. But I mean, I'm long gone from there. And moving here, I thought that the union was going to be like amazing because where I came from, it was just one plant. And it was because my dad's right now he's the Region 4 director of the UAW. So he's made his way up in that politically. So I'm just a union brat, but like a good one, like no foreign cars. Like my friends were smoking cigarettes at like 16 at his house, like outside. And he pulls up and they like put the cigarettes out and run inside. And he goes, get that fucking foreign car out of my driveway. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, yeah, he doesn't care about the cigarettes. He used to smoke cigarettes. So yeah, he told me he hoped my hair fell out when I bought Walmart or hair dye from Walmart. So love him. He said he'd take the head honcho of Mobile out if he ever like had terminal illness. I said, oh, modern day Luigi now, or like this was before. This is when I was in like 8th grade. But okay, a little sidetrack. My grandfather was also like a UAW worker, my mom and grandma as well. So they were more political, my dad and grandpa, and then my grandma and mom worked on the line. So I took over, but they always said I was too good for that. So they were like, do something else, Shelby, go to college. So I did both, and I have 2 kids. So I don't know, I've done a lot of shit. I used to live in Illinois, like I said, and I worked in healthcare when I was there. I served tables, bartended. I worked at a call center, insurance company. I've dipped my toe in like everything. And I used to hang out with all the bad kids. So, when I went to jail, I didn't think I was being that bad because they were doing way worse things. So I had to get a DUI at 21 because I needed to slow down. So I take everything as a life lesson, and that's how I've like prospered through all of my crazy life stories. Yeah, I'm running for Congress because we need real people, and Shree Thanadare takes money from DTE. The other candidate, Donovan, he is just a handpicked candidate that will do what they say. And I'm just sick of it. When Donald Trump got elected, I'm like, he's a felon. Like, I can do this. I'm like, they hate women though. So I want to use my white privilege and run because I give other women like hope, because you don't have to act like proper all the time. We're just people. Like, we should not be held to such a high standard. Like, nobody respects us anyway. So even when you do act like a nice girl. So what the fuck is the point? I'm the first generation that can say fuck you to your husband. So, and I'm proud of them. My mom and grandma are 2 single women. Like, they've been married like 3 times each. Not me. I'm not going to do that. So, but yeah, I don't know. That's a little bit of a random spiel about me.
Outstanding.
Solid.
Someone said, shut up and take all my votes already.
That wasn't someone. That was Admin Asia, okay?
That was your main
That's
Asia.
Oh, it's Admin Asia. Yes, it was. So yeah, that was a good rant then.
Doug has
All right.
forgotten his own staff.
Crazy.
No, I saw it in there. I didn't see who wrote it. Hey, are you talking? I can't hear you. Nobody can hear you. Sorry.
I can hear him.
Oh,
Because
I
somebody
can't.
Muted,
Oh.
somebody muted me.
I can hear you.
It's funny.
I
I can
heard
hear
that.
Around with
everyone.
buttons.
I can hear everybody.
So I know there's going to be somebody that either stumbles across this after the fact or is watching right now who's like, oh, well, how is she going to get elected if she has a criminal background and she uses profanity? And to that I say, fuck off! Because number one, have you seen the motherfucker in the White House? A 34-time convicted felon, an adjudicated rapist, and a guy who has sworn on camera lots and lots of times, and that's
Lots and lots of times.
in office. Not to mention grab him by the pussy 20 years ago. So miss us with that bullshit and double barrel fuck off. That's what. Bam. Now we got that out of the way. We can stop pretending, and those people can either go suck a dick or they can just sit back and watch this
No, so here's
dumpster
the
fire.
Proposal.
Yeah, it's getting bad already, and it's early. So I figured let's just go ahead and let's just go all out. So when somebody does come upon this and ask that completely reasonable question, you know, how can she win,
Totally.
right? I'm just gonna make sure that we share this,
Go out and vote. That's how she wins.
and then
Yes.
and then we'll just make sure that we actually have two presidents there. There we go. So
Yeah.
so I mean, the next question should be, why did I ask that question?
Doug.
And there you go.
Doug, you can't
Yeah,
show
the
that shit. I
standard,
just
it's
ate.
on the floor.
There it is. So, yeah. How long have you been in Michigan since you left?
6 years now. So I was with the father of my children until 2024, and then I read the book Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents, and I kind of like crashed out at 30 years old, and I was like, I'm choosing this miserable life. I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's not you, it's me. I shouldn't have like told you when we were younger that I'd ruin your life if you left me. Like, we're good, you know, because like that was just what I thought love was craziness, and I don't ever want to be a person like that again. Like I said, my grandma and mom have been married like 3 times each, and I just thought love was chaos, but I was like, you know, it's really not. It's two people being kind to one another, and like I didn't act like that in the end, but I learned a lot about like attachment theory and how you can like drag people down even just by working with them. Like, it's crazy how relationships, even friendships, like impact everything in your life. So, like I said, 30, I took a deep dive into that. So I lived in Chesterfield. We had the big 4-bedroom, 4-bath house, as I say to everybody, and I hated my life. I was like, why am I not happy? And it's because everybody focuses on money. And that's what I did. Me and him both had good jobs. Like, we were good people in a sense. We just shouldn't have had kids together. But, you know, you live and learn, and that's how you grow. You admit your faults, and not enough people do that. Like, in your 20s, like they always make it seem like you should have had your life together like 25, and if you didn't, at least as a woman, like if you weren't married by 25, you're just no good. And it's so crazy that like that's just a different perspective, that like as a woman growing up, like kind of being the end of that generation. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I just have a different perspective because you guys are all men. So maybe it's weird hearing
Nope.
it like this. No? All right. Well, good.
No, we
I mean,
I'm
we
down with all of this.
definitely did not have our lives together at 25. I mean,
Yeah.
I know.
the stories that Big Sarge can tell.
I know I didn't shave or anything or put on makeup or anything like that, but I actually use she/her pronouns.
So, yeah. So the idea that there is a different perspective from being a woman, definitely valid. But living life, learning those lessons, that's all of us, right? So,
Mhm.
and we all of us here have had a interesting life as well, which is why you see we love you. Like, more
Yeah.
importantly, I think that's most people's life. Most people on Instagram are lying. Most people on their resume is, you know, deleting, omitting. The truth is we're all kind of fucked up.
Yeah,
Just a
we're all
little
the
bit.
same. We
Yeah.
just are so like they pushed individualism so much. And that's why, like I said, I work in every sector and it's all the same complaints. People at the top don't listen to the ones at the bottom who are actually doing the work. Like when I was a CNA, I learned that doctors like don't do a lot. It's mostly the nurses. And of course, that's they don't make as much because that's a woman's field and primarily. And it's just disgusting, like when you see it. And that's why like I like the union, but I don't want to work that hard. Like we built cars, man, and I'm like 5 feet tall, and it's a lot of work. But we have automation, so I want to like transform like into that, make maybe 32-hour work weeks, and have automation kind of take over, so that people don't have to work as much and hurt their bodies. So I guess that's a little bit about policy and politics if we want to
Yeah.
talk about that.
Let's talk about that. That's great. And then I'm sure Matt are gonna have some great questions on that too. But automation, since you brought it up, and you are in the place where the car industry was supposed to come back. I'm not sure if it is yet, but talk about that. What is your ideas on balancing this automation with keeping jobs? People are very scared of automation taking over. What's your policy on that?
I feel like universal basic income and like profit sharing for all. I don't know if you can hear my dog. Sorry, Meek, stop. But universal basic income, because we all like we don't need mass production like we used to. Um, Sorry, now my brother's texting me. Jesus life. Um, we don't need it. Like
Tell him to watch the stream.
we succeeded. Yeah, he might be. I don't know. He's outside, but um we succeeded in that, and we don't need to push out like 600 cars of 10-hour shift. Everything can be like government with transportation. So instead of building a bunch of cars, we could build buses and things to fix the buses. We could have manufacturing be that way. Just transition out of it. And I know people get scared of the word like socialism and communism, but
We don't.
good. Okay. See, I just never know. People like, oh my gosh. I love my professor. He made it so we couldn't have any electronics in the classroom when he talked about like the evolution of politicians and how we got to this system. And I really just loved it. I'm like, wow, they had the right idea, but like the Chinese like leadership back when the Great Famine happened in China, he just didn't listen to the people. If we had communication like we do now, we wouldn't have that problem because we can talk and say, hey, I'm fucking hungry, like don't starve us out here. And we can share information more. So it's all interconnected, and I see like I'm on a tangent of everything, but it's just we can transition and live life where we don't have to just be a slave to the system anymore, where we just go to work and be miserable the rest of our lives until we can retire. Like, who wants to do that? So, if we just did more community and actually got back living in the cities instead of the rural communities, I know people like think that they like it, but once you get into the city and you see how much more community it is, like, I don't miss rural America like at all. I like it. I feel like I'm more connected to people now that I'm here. So
Hmm.
So
Anyone
I had
else?
a particular question regarding sorry, something distracted me for just a fraction of a second there. I had a particular
Is it
question.
Shelley Duvall?
No, it was not Shelley Duvall. All right, I have work on my monitors, Tim. All right, I'm locked in. All right,
I got a
Helldivers is in the background. It's not up right now. Um, so I wanted to ask about your prison reform policy. So you talked on your website. It mentions, uh, specifically, I'm interested in where you talk about ending exploitative labor practices and focusing on rehabilitation and empowering individuals. What is your kind of vision for a more rehabilitative prison system?
we need to teach people about emotional intelligence. As I was talking about that book, Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents, I believe it's just not taught in the working class how to deal with things. It's just like have a drink, smoke some weed, like deal with life, get over it, go to work. And a lot of the crimes that I believe are committed is against one another, or it's because somebody's hungry, they need drugs because, they don't know how to deal with it. So mental health and prison, it needs to come together more and not just like throw somebody in a cage and leave them there to sit to learn a lesson. Like teach them things, like, because a lot of the times when people are in jail or prison, it's because they don't have family or community to help them. And when you're in prison, it's just modern day slavery. In Alabama, they don't grant people parole, but they'll let them go work at the DMV.
Yep.
Like what? That's insane. That is just pure slavery, just
Yeah,
stamped with like they're in prison, and like the firefighters. So,
oh, and notably, just to enhance that point, right? Even in the, oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember which number amendment it is. Fuck, 13th, the one that actually abolished slavery.
yeah.
That was the
except for
13th.
prison.
Do you
Except for
not read
prison
any of
specifically.
our Confederate Heritage Month content at all?
Tim, it's been a long day. Okay, all right. Do you think I would have shown up unshaven if I didn't have a long day?
I don't know what you do in your house. It's not my place to judge.
Oh, that's fair. But yeah, but just pointing out exactly like Doug said, it specifically did not abolish slavery for the prison system. So
That's just what it transitioned into.
Yeah.
Like there weren't many like jails back then until they freed the slaves essentially. So just like the firefighters in California, they save like $90,000 a year on labor. It's disgusting. It's not a race war, it's a class war. But it's just been like fed into being like a race war, and then like the sexes against each other. And we need to just really get other people who don't see it for that onto our side. Like stop hating somebody because they're different than you, like just because they have some melanin or just because they read the Quran instead of the Bible or whatever. It's just respect people. As long as you're not doing anything morally wrong, we are literally all the exact same. So
Here's the other thing about that though, like actually in the Constitution, it says slavery is abolished except for prison, except if you're a prisoner. When I was told that very young, I was like, maybe we should do something about that. And then other people found that out, and you'd hear, did you know that it's still okay to be a slave as long as you're in prison? And it'd go on and go on. And 40 years later, what I realized is every single person that could have done something about it said, no, that won't affect me because that's only going to affect black people. Let's be honest. Like that, the fact that that was in there, the rich people said that's only going to affect poor people, and it started there. But then the rest of the community says, "Did you know this? Did you know that?" Well, it's not. It's never been a point. It's never been worth really letting go or talking about, or because it's just more than likely that won't affect me. Um, I'm thinking. I'm thinking that that's probably the same reason why we're where we are now, with this voting rights, with everything that's been going on. It has finally turned into a hellhole because all the things that they thought would only affect black people actually did, and now it's kind of spilling over. I'd like to know your thoughts about this. Race is the big issue right now because of what's going on, and I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
like the Voting Rights Act,
The voting
and
rights,
just
our place right now. We have a white Christian nationalist movement that has taken over, and there's a
I
lot
mean,
of
it's always
questions
been
about race.
that. It's been that since they came over here. That's what my ancestors or our ancestors did. Like, we can't deny it. And I think that's how we start moving forward, is we make other white people feel very uncomfortable. Because growing up, like, I heard awful things about people of color because I grew up in a predominantly white area. And now that I call that out and say it, like, and I don't live there, I see how horrible it is, that like how people talk. So I just like, not essentially embarrassed, but we just have to bring light to these situations and get people to care. So get more women and people of color to care about politics, because women aren't are literally like not representative within Congress at all. The first 40 women only got into Congress because their husbands were congressmen. But we see what's like exactly your question about
So
what's going
I'll
on.
tell you
Like,
this. So no, really, I just want to talk because we've been here just talking. I kind of liked it, and so that's good. I just wanted that. But I will ask a specific question. So seeing where we are with the race relations, more pointed is what we found out is if there's not a law to stop white people from being white rich men or just white men from being absolute monsters, if there's not a law specifically telling them to not be a monster, they will be a monster immediately. Immediately. So when you get to Congress, do you have any ideas of what you'd like to propose to help uh, tamp in that whatever that quality is? Any laws that, because right now they're all on the books. We could talk about voting rights laws. We could talk
well,
about prison
I
laws. We
want
could talk
to
about
get rid of immunity. I think that's a really big issue. And when I was in law school for, I did like 67 credit hours. I have a lawsuit against them. We can talk about that another time. But when I was in law school, we learned about immunity, and they grant people in federal government immunity and like police officers and things because they're afraid people won't want to do the positions. And we need to get rid of that. Same with like the opiate industry, just immunity. I think we need to actually hold these people liable for the crimes that they're committing, like while they're in their duty of their job. Like, you shouldn't do that job if you feel like it's necessary to kill somebody, you know? So holding people actually accountable.
um, immunity is good. I think that police reform as a whole needs to
Well, we
be
need,
there.
yeah, it needs completely, because they don't, like, when they go to mental health like calls, they don't know what they're doing and people die. And it's just in other countries, they don't, like in England, they don't even have guns on them. So, and I'm not against like guns, but just the way that we are so gun happy, Second Amendment here. But I think just getting more women and people of color into politics. And I have a lawsuit right now to get money out of politics. I'm trying to deem it unconstitutional under the Equal Protection Clause. So I'm trying to do that to make the playing field like a little bit more level, because how can you equate freedom of speech and money in 1976 when women couldn't even have a bank account till 1974? So it's never been done, because it's kind of like, it's not a victim mentality, but it is. And people who are oppressed, like women, like, oh, I did it, I don't need any help. Like, we're kind of proud. But you know what, no, like, let's call these people out for the things that they do wrong. Like, there's literally case law where it says women shouldn't be able to have a bank account. Like, women's duty is to be, or like the benign task of wife and mother. Like, you know how insulting that is to read? It's just like, in the deeds where they said that Black people couldn't own a home. So we need to come together as like white oppressed women. They need to stop falling in line with their husbands. And so I think it's going to get better with that.
That's what's up.
While we're talking about accountability in government, what's your position? We've seen unbelievable levels of corruption from the current regime. The self-dealing, the sweetheart deals, the special contracts for the buddy's friend, as long as they pay a little something back to the president. How do you even start to combat that? Where does it even begin?
I'm a part of the Courage candidates, and we took an oath to impeach Donald Trump on day one. So, like, holding him accountable. I'm reading the impeachment book right now. It was written in like 2016 or 17, and like, yeah, we impeached him, but like, it didn't do anything because we didn't have everybody holding him accountable. We need to just get money out of politics, like just money in general, like redistribute it back, because it's just so unfair, like, and so unnecessary. All of the things that the rich people have, it's while people are sleeping on the street.
But how do you attack that problem within the government itself, not just Trump, but the government at large, that to get this money out of politics, to get this level of corruption out?
I mean, that's what you have to just have people that know how to do it. Like me, I'm doing a lawsuit. I'm trying to attack it that way before I even get in there. And then when I do, hopefully I do draft legislation. You just have to have more people like myself run. So getting money out of politics is like one of the biggest things to do and would really help because then you wouldn't have corporations buying politicians and we should not have corporations be deemed citizens. And if they do something horrible, like contaminate water, they need to be shut down. Like it doesn't need to be like punitive damages. We need to stop obsessing so much over money. Like we're the only country that has like so much money within like lawsuits and things like that. So getting money, like money is just the center of everything. So getting that.
So would it be so I think let me expound on it. So there's some specifics. There's ways to get money out. One is you say that you're only allowed to spend a certain amount and everybody has to spend the same amount. Another one is the government gives it to people who are running. And that way it's it comes from the taxpayer and it will be regulated as such. There's other ways. So that, I mean, do you have any specific ideas on how you would like to go about it?
I mean, I like the government one because you can't. There's in like unequal like bargaining right now. Like some people are really rich, and that doesn't just go away if we take money out of politics. So if we allow them to fund their campaigns like in an excessive amount, then we're still just gonna have rich people in office. So potentially that way, I like the regulation. I know people don't want more government, but it's like the big corporations are just controlling us anyways. Like they literally are the ones that get to make the rules because they have the lawyers that make the case law that make legislation happen.
So whatever you're able to come up with in Congress and be able to put together as far as bills, right now a hyper-partisan Supreme Court is very likely to just strike down because it's inconvenient to them making their kickbacks. How do you combat that kind of corruption with people who have lifetime appointments and really unassailable positions?
I think we need to expand the Supreme Court a little bit and
Yeah.
like limits. I don't know. Their reasoning, like in law school, I learned that sometimes judges get to use their judicial experience to make a decision, and that's what they do. But it's how can you have this pretty boy that's never worked hard in his life who went from K to JD and go be a judge, like a lawyer and a judge, and make decisions about somebody who has to steal something because they don't have a mom and a dad. Like they get to just use their judicial experience to make judgment. So there needs to be some reform in the judicial system. Like I really like it because I've studied it now and I've learned how it evolves, and you can see how we've grown and gotten out of some horrendous things just by having people in there. But holding lawyers accountable too. They are just horrible. They're the ones that are gatekeeping the history of our country. They keep things going. So if we get rid of corporations being people, I know I'm just on a tangent. If we get rid of corporations being people, and we won't have these corrupt lawyers who are working against the people, working for the corporations who are just lining their pockets. I hate money. It's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Certainly a tall hill to climb.
It is,
politics.
but we can do it. And like, we just have to have the hope. Like my parent, I keep saying this line. My parents said, when I'm the adult, I can make the rules. I'm the adult now. I'm 32. It's my turn. Like, move over. I got this. Like, I just want everybody to get along, as cliche as it sounds. It just shouldn't be this hard. Like, I think it's because people hold themselves to such a like, oh, people are just bad. No, they're really not. They turn bad because somebody older than them did something bad to them, or somebody hurt them because somebody hurt somebody. It's just we just keep hurting one another, and we don't change because we have war, and all that creates is resentment. So blowing somebody up isn't going to make them get along with us.
So in order to do it, I gotta agree with Matt. It's a hard task only because when you get in there, you're going to have to create an alliance, right? You have to have a coalition of people to collate enough power in a place that has 400, 500 people in it, all right, all trying to make decisions, and half of them hate you and hate us. Uh, have you been thinking about who would you like to work with on bills like this?
I honestly don't know now that I'm in this because it's just fake to me. Like I don't I loved Rashida, and then now I see like the Working Families Party, like they didn't even interview me, and it just was like very, I was like, what? I'm the only candidate that's actually worked, like, and worked on the line and aligns with them. And you didn't even take the time to like interview me before endorsing somebody else. So it just, and she's like feeding money, like 30,000, 40,000 into the Working Families Party, and then they're dispersing it to specific candidates. So it was really heartbreaking to like, or it still is, to just keep learning things about politicians that you think are good. Honestly, I'm hoping, because I'm a part of a bunch of groups where there's a lot of us newbies running, and
Yeah,
hopefully we all get in there because we're all just sick of it. We just need real people in there. So that's who. I mean, I still like Rashida, and I would love to work with her if anything happened. Like, she has good ideas, but it's just I've seen it, so now I just don't know who to believe anymore.
Yeah, it's one of the truths of American politics is that money does become your bullhorn, your ability to reach audience, your ability to reach voters, your ability to get your message out, and without it, it's nearly impossible to communicate and break from the pack, especially when you're running in a crowded primary. You've got a number of other voices, usually they're of at least similar stripes as far as your politics. So how do you set yourself apart? What is your go-to? How do you communicate that? And that's tough to do without money. And it's also tough when you're a new candidate and you're basically asking people to bet on you when you're coming in and you don't have this track record of someone who's run and had these positions before. That's a tough position to work from. And it's great to see you trying. It's great to see you putting this effort and making this happen. What is that
Go ahead.
pitch though? What is your sale pitch to the voters of Michigan in the 13th district of why you are the choice in this upcoming primary?
Well, I'm not, I get to be, actually, since I'm independent now, I just get to be on the ballot in November. I
Oh,
have to
I'm
get,
sorry. You are
yeah,
right.
no,
You're right. You were
I
the
have to get
independent.
the, yes, signatures again. But I just align with the people. I know what we need because of my experience with the Detroiters and the people within Wayne County. I worked on the assembly line. This is a working class area. I know that people just want the basics, and that's just all we want is free health care, because it should be a right, housing should be a right, and money out of politics. As I have been saying, we need to get those three things, because everybody deserves to have somewhere to sleep. There should not be abandoned houses. So I guess that's why. And I don't portray to be anything other than what I am. I worked my ass off. I went to college and I did it while I was working on the assembly line. So I know what it's like. And I don't want other people to have to do it, because honestly, I don't remember a lot of it because I was just in survival mode. I had kid working and going to school, but I did it. And so they can't say like I didn't work my ass off for what I'm doing and like how I got here. So that's how, and I don't want anybody to have to do it. It's so
Mhm.
hard. It was so hard, but I did it.
That's
Well,
awesome.
it's always different when we have someone on the other side of the fence. It's the Republicans always seem to think that working hard means being born with money. So everybody else out here, we have to work for it. I appreciate a candidate who's actually had to come up through those ranks.
Yeah, thank you.
Uh,
My mom and grandma worked their asses off. They good examples of strong women. Not the most with men, but it was just a different time. They, like, my grandma couldn't even have a bank account, until 74. So how can she think she can do life without a man when she's been taught that she needs one? So
uh, in Ohio, we were hoping for someone to win in their primary, and they happened to lose. But they literally worked on the train tracks for 20 years. They were engineer, um, and they were part of the the train union, railroad union, whatever it was. Um, that railroad union ended up endorsing or backing the Republican in the race, um, and we thought that that was absolutely batshit crazy. Like the
Yeah.
Republicans want to get rid of the
Yes, it
union,
is.
but the actual railroad union that this guy actually belonged to for 20 years didn't back. They backed the other. They backed the actual Republican. I'm wondering in Michigan. I know that it's a big union place. Where are they going? Do you have any stats, any
They
numbers on where
they
they're breaking it?
haven't in my district the UAW hasn't endorsed anybody yet. I just had my endorsement thing with them, which I was a 10-year member, so and I'm hoping that I get it.
Hmm.
But that's what I've seen a lot here though. It's very heartbreaking. They don't even interview you and then they just give it to the candidate that has the $1 million in the bank. And it's like you talk about getting money out of politics, you talk about real people, but then you just go with the ones that are picked, and it
Every,
sucks. It's very
every single candidate that I've been working closely with has said the same thing. Democratic Party, especially, and these are all Democrats. You're an independent. Uh, they, I mean, there's no help or funding, or it's just trash to infrastructure. And the Republicans, on the other hand, have iron tight, clad infrastructure for fascism. Um, it's amazing. It's amazing. Speaking of that, though, being an independent is going to be hard for you to help that problem of infrastructure. Do you have any ideas on how to make that better besides taking money out of politics?
I'm just gonna live by that. I'm just not gonna worry about money. I'm just gonna go out there and talk to people. So I'm gonna start door knocking. I sold my house a year ago and I've just been living off of that, and like I've made investments into more property. So I'm hoping that I don't have to work this whole time and I can just focus on that. I got my brother staying here with me to help with my kids, and yeah, I'm just gonna really talk to the people.
You got a good amount of volunteers yet?
I have some people. I It's just so hard to get everyone together, and that's what we're trying to work on right now. But
Hey, Family Liberty in Michigan, if you're thinking about that, to go check that out.
yes, yes, help me.
Not
Doesn't
just Michigan
doesn't
though.
always have to be in Michigan. Yeah, you could do phone banking from anywhere.
Yeah, you
Oh
can do
yeah,
Yeah.
phone
phone
banking. You
banking.
can do online support.
Yeah, just
That's
share
right.
the
You can
stuff.
mail postcards from wherever.
So,
The
a question.
13th. Sorry,
Oh,
somebody just asked
yes,
where I was running.
yes, yeah. John Smith, 1953, as Shelby just said, as Michigan's 13th district. Uh, but I wanted to ask.
It's in the little caption right there. Like, see,
Oh,
Oh, that's
I
true.
forgot.
Oh, there's a caption. Yeah.
See, he can
reverse
be
camera as well.
sarcastic. I'm not gonna do that. I'll answer the question nicely. Unless you're mean to me, I won't be mean to you.
Um, but as far as unions, because what Doug was saying about what happened to our dear friend in Ohio, got me thinking. Is from your experience with unions, what are some potential things that candidates can actually do to outreach to unions to strengthen
The
ties between
regional
unions and progressive candidates?
directors, I think the regional directors, like, and just harassing them, they'll talk to you. You know, you just gotta keep calling the people. You gotta harass them. They I don't know. That's how you have to get anything done. It's just keep calling and bothering, because if you
Right.
don't and you don't make noise, they don't listen. They just answer you and like move on about their day. You're not on their mind. So make yourself known. And they can say that, I don't know, they have affiliation with me, and my dad's Brandon Campbell, the Region 4 director of the UAW.
What towns, cities, areas, etc. comprise District 13?
It's from Grosse Point, it's a weird like shape. It's Grosse Point all the way down to Romulus where the airport is. So Taylor, Wyandotte, Lincoln Park, Hamtramck, Highland Park. Yeah, there's a lot of little cities. River Rouge.
Is Ferndale in your?
No, it's not. I believe that's Rashida, or maybe I don't know. Maybe that one's not. I think Dearborn is. But
Why is that where your ex-wife is, bro? You're like, I'm not voting for you if that's in your district.
That would not stop me from voting.
Somebody was
No.
asking in the chat.
Somebody in chat was asking, and I was trying to be
okay.
helpful instead of being a fucking smartass and being like, ah.
I apologize. I can't help it.
No, my
he can't
my
win.
ex-wife, my ex-wife is from the town of Newberry, which is way up in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. If you basically look at the Upper Peninsula and find all the points on the map and then draw lines and figure out where the hour away mark is, that's where Newberry is. It's an hour away from everything.
Oh.
It is literally like a little speck in a huge forest.
Well, that's kind of how the town I live is in. It's an hour, at least 45 minutes to an hour to 2 hours away from anywhere you would actually want to be. So, I mean,
Well, speaking of that, we're talking about cities versus, the rural places. You can't. There's always going to be that there. Do you have an idea of how to help the community aspect of a rural place, like how to maybe plant cities or plant the idea of injecting money or industry? Is there how do you tie that bridge, right? It's easy to say, I want everybody to come to the cities, but there's still going to be rural there. How would you tie the bridge, or do you have any ideas on how to make that work? How to keep that
Like just
same type of
people.
community?
I feel like we need to just expand, I guess, public transit or trains, if you want to say, connect them in that way, maybe so, or just the nation, so that people aren't so like spread out and inaccessible to other areas, and you can get from the rural community to the city faster, or just having housing as a right. I feel like if you have housing for people in the cities and big corporations don't own everything like they do in the cities, why wouldn't somebody want to come if they didn't have to pay that much? If it would be worth it, then a lot of the times people don't want to live in the city because they think it's so much more, when it's most of the time not, because the wages are different. But
yeah, I like the transportation. Okay, great answer.
okay.
So, in terms of outreach to rural areas, I'm gonna call back to a joke you made earlier about socialism being a scary word. It's not a scary word to us, but it's a scary word to a lot of people in rural areas. So how does that frankness about your politics actually translate into your rural outreach?
There's not much rural here, but yeah. So, well, like Romulus, it kind of is. It's by the airport, but I'm a union person, so that's kind of how, like, I'm relatable. I've done what the people in the like outer skirts of the communities have done, because a lot of the time people drive from rural to the city to work, and that's what's really big here. But yeah, what exactly was your question, or like more?
So I guess the crux of my question is like,
No, it's not you. It's not you.
well,
I just like to ask everybody to
Yeah.
like identify.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to ask.
no, it's perfectly legitimate, like a question. I guess the crux of it was, have you really had any problems with using words like socialism because of that negative connotation that it can have? And I was thinking more about rural areas, because I live in a more rural area where
Yeah.
like everybody's scared of the big S word, but
yeah, not normally in this community.
Okay.
Not in this community. It's like a Democrat, like, safe or more progressive area. It's like more than like 50% Black people here. So it's just a different demographic. And
Right.
when you have more people of color, they're normally more progressive and aren't afraid of socialism and actually, like, having everybody be equal. Because the systemic racism here is is very prevalent
Right.
when you're not from here. So, but yeah, in this community, it's not that hard to talk about it. But I just say like Social Security, like it's literally in the name. It's
Right.
social, like so that's how I would relate to the people and be like, it works for that. So, and they've been saying my whole life that it's going to be taken away, but it's still here.
I wish talking points like that worked as well here. I live in central Pennsylvania, and it's awful.
It is.
Unfortunately.
Can
It's
confirm.
terribly terrible. So
You just have to
yeah.
not let them like get you going. You just have to like keep repeating their idiotic like ideas back to them. And like you just say it in a calm way. Like,
Right.
"Oh, so socialism doesn't work, but do you know people that get social security? Can you explain to me how it wouldn't work if that works?" Like I would just keep saying like, "Okay, how so?" Like, "Please explain it." And then they just get pissed off and think about it. Most of the time, at least, I don't know. I
Right.
think I'm good at talking to people, though.
There's there was a map for TPUSA, and I put it in a video the other day. They have
Toilet
like
paper, USA.
toilet paper USA. They have like 900 um, different high schools, or 1,000 different high schools, and thousands of college campuses where they have these groups. And when you look at it on the map, and you see that they're all the way from New York to Florida to California, and they go to those places to plant these ridiculous white supremacy seeds. The Democrats have nothing like that underpinning their base. Like, we need that back to the infrastructure. The idea that for 30 years Republicans have started at the school board, school club, church club, into the college, into straight into the judge, the officer, and the lawyer, and the businessman. They have this pipeline, and I'm wondering, maybe you don't have anything for this, but it'd be good to think about. How do we turn our infrastructure like that? How do we take the things that we do have, the whatever the 2A gun club for Democrats, that also is the Democratic Student Union. How do we make that as strong? Is there a way to do it as a party that is against? I know you're independent, but as right now, as a party that is against fascism, against that white supremacy, uh, have you thought about that? Thought about helping to build that type of infrastructure, or what it would look like if we had it?
Yeah, I think we need to focus on the kids and focus on them because they are the future, and that's how we change the future. So, education reform and ensuring that children know the real history of America, because Hananiga High School in Rockton, Illinois, just has a turning point. That's where I went to high school, and it's crazy. I'm like, that's where I grew up, and I tell everybody, like you can change and learn as long as you apply yourself. So, focusing on kids is honestly, and not like, I don't know, not to corrupt them, but just changing the education so they know real life and not just how to be a little factory worker. So I think, and not picking these safe candidates. I think getting rid of both parties would be the most beneficial. Honestly, I just decided not to be like a Democrat like a month ago because I just see how messed up it is. Like I was inquiring with a city council woman about getting her endorsement, and then I found out that she got the signatures to be on the ballot for my race, and I'm like, you could have just told me that months ago instead of having me like email you back and forth. So it's like it's both sides. It's just games. And it's like that's not what politics is supposed to be, but that's what it turned into. So showing the kids and the people that there are real people in this, and we will expose the other ones that just do it for the money and play it just for the popularity, I guess.
So
Got
part of the question though, as in following on with this, is Doug. I watched the video you released earlier, and this is actually one of the things I thought about. It was like, we're pitching this idea of, this youth outreach in a way to like combats organizations like Toilet Paper USA, which I don't like that nickname for them either because I wouldn't wipe my ass with them. But the reality is also that they were able to create these propaganda factories through an inordinate amount of astroturf funding and a fleet of lawyers that were able to sue the shit out of anybody who said, no, actually, we don't want to teach fascism in schools. So when we do this youth outreach, how do we combat that corporate-backed astroturf funding that the Republicans get that the Democrats, or I don't want to say Democrats, because that the broader left coalition as a whole does not, because there's not money in being a progressive, right? There's not money in being a decent person. There is money in being a fucking fascist.
I mean, I think there is money. There is money being a progressive. Like I said, these candidates, they just pretend to be progressive.
Say they got money somehow. They're getting money.
It's corrupt too. Like I said, where is that? Like when you look at the other candidates' contributions, it's not even from the state of Michigan. They're just going to get financing from people in California who have money, and they're just playing the game, shaking hands. It's all just a buddy system that needs to be infiltrated. So I don't know. It's hard to answer because it's like, how do you change the world with all these things?
Right.
Well, I'll make a statement.
To be clear, I don't want to say that like you not having an answer is a necessarily bad thing. I think it's refreshing that if you don't have an answer, you admit that. But sorry, go ahead, Doug.
I have a statement, not necessarily a question. There's nothing to answer, but I think the big idea here, what we're getting at when we're talking about this thing, is the fact that they both get money. It's just that the Republicans, they pocket this much, but also put enough inside Charlie fucking Kirk because they see the future, right? And they put enough inside this alma mater, right? Because they see that, well, I want to actually control some shit. Whereas the Democrats, when they get their APAC money, this goes to a fucking commercial and their house. But maybe instead of until we can get all the money out, I need to be finding a way to convince them to break off some of that money for their own protection. So they don't see it yet. Like, how long is it going to take before they keep your $5, fam? Just put one of them, just one out of every $5, put it into something else that's going to help the Democratic Party stay powerful, if that's all you care about. But they just can't seem to think that far ahead. Anyway, just a rant.
I do have another question. So you mentioned that we'd be better off without both parties. And I do actually agree with that. I want to be fully upfront. I do agree with that. I hate both parties with a passion. But I'm just curious what you see the post-duopoly world looking like without both parties.
I mean, you can identify, as more of like a Democrat, but if we're not funneling all this money into it, then I feel like it doesn't matter that much if we have regular people running. So, and I kind of want to make voting mandatory, but maybe make it a holiday where everybody actually has the days off of work so they can take the time to vote, or make it so they have to, not like dictator like, but if you don't, it just should be your duty. You should just vote because we need the people to make the decision for our nation instead of just having like a little amount. So I don't know. I guess I'm for good pushing people into doing things like, and maybe to talk about the schools and like how to like not have the generations continue to what Turning Point USA and all that would be. Oh my gosh, what was I gonna say?
I get that all the time.
Like China, and people want to go, oh my God, China, but their children are smarter. So we need to limit the propaganda and the fake stuff that we allow on the internet in our country. Like we shouldn't have people that can push like false ideologies of like things that are very important, like health, mental health, and just trying to be like, I don't know, just trying to do
So
too much on the internet. We have too much
I,
like of sharing the information that's false, I guess.
I
so
hear you on that. Well, wait a minute. Let me just respond to that
go
real
ahead.
quick
Go ahead.
because this is super important. The reason why you can do that in China is because you have a totalitarian dictator to dictate it, right? And so this is where we get caught. This is why they said we have a democracy as long as you can keep it. Because smart people also knew that you can get things done really quickly and efficiently with a dictator. You really can. Until that dictator becomes Trump. And then the only thing that's done efficiently is the money going straight to his pocket and everything else sucks. So that's so much of a harder thing to do than just like how to stop somebody from doing from saying bad things online or disinformation. We have certain laws. We had laws that have been gone now that we would love to put back in place, but it's so much harder to do here than in China because in China it's simply a dictate from a regime, and there you can cut down all internet because what they also don't have is things that say anything good about any other country either. Like they're really right? Like if you go, their internet
It's just
doesn't have
hard. It's
it doesn't have
it's like, what do
disinformation.
you do?
Yeah, I have
It
so
does,
many
but
thoughts
they've
about
also
that
never seen a
response.
black person, and it's
But
weird
holy
too.
shit, it's
It's
so
like,
far outside the scope.
sorry, go
Doug,
ahead.
Doug, we should talk about that later because I have
Yeah.
like more nuanced thoughts about that response, but it's so far outside the scope of this, and I can go on for hours about
Yeah,
that. But
yeah.
so I want to circle back though. So I guess actually more of the crux of my question about the duopoly is: do you see a pathway to having a system where I don't think even with the campaign finance reform that you're talking about, which is again something I think is a solid plan. I support this, but I don't think political parties are going to go the way of the dodo. Do you see a pathway to a point where we have more than two dominant parties, where we
Like in
have
France.
like
And France has
like
like
you see in a
7.
parliamentary system, right? And not necessarily saying that we should go to a parliamentary system, but that do you see a pathway to third party viability?
I think that we could have more parties if we took the money out of it, if people wanted to identify more with things. And you actually should have to vote
What it
the
comes
way
down to.
that you portray yourself as, because there's just too many people that say one thing and vote the other way. Like Sri Thanadar has a billboard saying end the war, but you take money from Israel. So
I
weird. Like, it's
listen.
just like that should be illegal.
Edmund, Jamie, and I are in a state represented in the Senate by John Fetterman.
Matt,
we know all about.
Matt and I both voted for John Fetterman,
and we're
It's your fault.
tremendously disappointed.
Actually, the only reason I
180 flip.
registered, the only reason I registered as a Democrat is I feel so guilty that I voted for John Fetterman and I did not vote in a primary for Connor Lamb that I was like, I'm never missing a Democratic primary again.
Never ever.
Never,
Well, they
ever.
don't teach you how important they are. Like,
No,
you
not at
don't
all.
really. And I didn't like when I think it was like 2016. I didn't comprehend how Bernie didn't get the nomination. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
I didn't comprehend it.
Yeah, me neither.
2016, I actually wouldn't have been able to vote in the primary anyway because I'm
Young
27.
buck. Young buck.
Oh,
He's
okay,
a fucking
okay.
child.
I
The
turned
fucking
28.
child
I
over here.
turned
Sarge,
I
where you
turned
get
28
Where you
next
get
month.
these prides from, man? Where you get these prides from? He's a child.
Private.
And these kids.
I got out as a corporal, thank you.
Kids today. So I have a quick. I got a funny story about that, man. Listen, me in my mouth, it's hard to not. If you know me, we're gonna at some point end up talking about politics. I'm gonna end up trying to school you on something, or you're gonna school me on something, and that has happened as well. At work, I work for this law firm, and I worked for the bad guys. Okay, so this is I won't say their name on here because I just called them bad
You
guys.
work for a law firm.
Yeah,
I just called them bad guys.
I got your back. I got your
shouldn't have said
back.
that.
No legal advice, but I can help you.
So I worked for these guys, and at the time they were the lawyers for like Walmart, Purdue, right, Tyson Farms, right, like the corporate lawyers of corporate lawyers, and um, the people that worked there, if you know, were all pretty much just what you would expect for people who do that type of work, and I was having a discussion with this person, and I was like, this is Bernie, and Bernie did this. Okay, did you know that so and so? And I mean, Hillary is such, and obviously, talking about so and so. And by like week 3, I had the lady saying, first of all, she didn't know that Bernie was that because she's just a casual watcher, and they made sure never to put him on TV. They literally filmed empty podiums waiting for Trump to come rather than him actually talking to 1,000 people. But after that, just by saying the things, just by saying what he was, what he represented, what he's looking for, I had that lady basically saying, "You have turned me into a Bernie Sanders voter from a Republican," right? And that was 2016. That was before there was an actual cult. Like now their hooks are in there. I'm not wasting my time on them. There's other people who can do that. I'm not saying they're a lost cause, but they're a lost fucking cause. So now there are people out there who are more well suited to dealing with that type of mental disability. But back when people were normal, um, back when people were I know, man. Hey, let them come after me. Back when people,
Oh, they will.
yeah,
They will.
I know. Back when
Some
people, that's why,
spicy comments this week.
yeah, that's why I make these comments. But back when people were just normal fucked up human beings, as we all are, on our way to being something better, you were able to say the message of the working class, of um, free college, which I see you are a big proponent of. I mean, just going down here, labor rights empowerment, housing justice, anti gentrification. When that lady may not have cared about that, but the minute I say, free college, tax the rich, um, the Social Security for everybody, free healthcare. Is that I don't see a healthcare on here, but maybe it's because are you
It's on
for
there.
free?
It's on there.
It's on there. Okay. So when you
Yes.
said that back in the day, you could actually turn somebody from that. Are you? I'm hoping. I don't have a question. I'll just let you respond. We're just talking. I'm just hoping. that will still be the case when you're running, because it seems so easy, right? Like it just seems so easy. You- It just seems like it should be easy, right? Am I right?
They just don't care. They don't. They just do what they want. And I don't know. I don't know how we've gotten here. I don't know.
how's
Our
the response
current
when you bring these up? When like the things that you're asking for, the things that you want, seem like the things that change that person's mind. Are you seeing that when you're out there, when you're having these discussions with
I
constituents?
I mean, I don't really, like I said, I don't really have to, I don't know. I think everybody likes what I like because it makes sense. I'm not trying to harm anybody. I'm just honestly trying to bring power to the people because nobody cares. Nobody says what I say. Like, oh, they're like, oh, people want good paying jobs. No, people want a good paying job and not having to work their ass off because, like, and just work your life away. How can we make life easier? And the people in office don't think of that right now because they don't actually work. They don't know that there's no federal labor laws. Like I had to work 18 days in a row once and at Chrysler because we were in launch mode and the contract allowed it for 1 year. They could work you as much as you want. And there was no federal law to like preempt that.
Wait,
And when I was on there's no federal law limiting it, and Michigan is a labor state. It's You think that it would be like union. No, that's why the union's here. It's because it's pro corporation here. It's the infrastructure is like awful here in comparison to Illinois, and for business in Michigan, it's great, and Illinois, it's not. So,
Yep. Well, since they've taken the votes away, how long do you think they just started enslaving black people?
oh my God, I think it's just poor people.
What do you
I
mean?
got-
That's what prisons are already for.
Okay, there, God, don't do. I'm like, I don't know, it's not.
I wish that was a joke.
You're
I know.
so
Well,
I
good.
wish it was a joke.
He's okay. He said it. It's okay. He said it. You can say that. God. He just took me.
Welcome,
Like, oh my
welcome
God,
to the
that
Sons
was,
of Liberty,
that
Shelby.
was out of
It's
pocket.
okay.
I
I-
was like, what the fuck?
I'm shielded from backlash by my trans identity.
Right, there you go. No, for real though. I mean, like, I'll tell you what. That's been a conversation that black people have been having for about 10 years now. Like, you know that
Yeah,
they're gonna, you
because
know they want you
he's
to be a
just
slave again,
awful.
right? Yeah, and seeing
We just
that
have to get
they-
rid of the white men that like think like that, like Donald Trump.
But-
They just
and
gotta
we
go.
just had, forgive me, I forget the name of the GOP House rep who was talking about Hakeem Jeffries needing to keep his cotton picking hands off Virginia.
Ah!
Like, we're
They're
just
just so
just
brave.
gonna be like that.
It's because
They're
after
so
Obama
brave.
was president, all the fucking racists came out because they were like, he was awful. And it's like, what the fuck did he do that was so awful? You idiots. But it's, well,
I
like,
mean, I have a list, but it's not anything that a Republican would agree with.
yeah, well,
Right.
my aunt or my great aunt, hillbilly, her name is Debbie Sue. All right. She, when I was voting
Wow, that's
like for
when you know.
Kamala.
The
Oh
two
yeah,
first names.
Debbie
You gotta
Sue,
love it.
Debbie Sue, Betty Joe, Herman. That's my family. Okay,
I love it. I love it.
But she was like, I'm trying to delete you off Facebook because you voted for that N word, and I'm just like, okay, girl, I got you. I'll delete you. I just did it. But yeah,
Wow.
they're just
Let me
fucking.
help you out with that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, you are insane. Like, my kids are Mexican, dude. Like, you don't need to be a racist piece of shit. Like, it's just crazy. That's what I grew up like. I'm a descendant of that, and the only way to get over it is to call them out and like just not ignore it anymore. Like, you
Yeah.
know, you have to just. I was
Listen,
arguing this Donald Trump supporter. He was just like, in Iran, they're taught to hate Americans since blah blah blah. They're born. I was never taught to hate. He's like 80 years old. His mom's 100, and she's sitting there. And I was like, segregation?
You hate Iran.
What? I know, but I was like, segregation in your country? Yeah, we're taught to hate. And he's like, but that's what you do, you know? And then I was like, yeah, I believe in abortion too. I'm like, I had to get one because I was like, I had to get one. So you think I'm an awful person? And that's just what I do because, you know, it's you just gotta
No,
make them feel so embarrassed for being an awful human for no valid reason.
So speaking of being taught to hate, I need to ask you about my pet issues, which are queer issues, for self-evident reasons. So I didn't see much on your website pertaining to queer issues specifically, which is fine. But I was curious about your thoughts on especially increasing support for trans people and access to healthcare for trans folk.
Yes, I agree. I was at a gas station when I was driving from Washington, D.C. I went to the Young Workers March, and there was a trans woman, and somebody was being so mean. And I got out, and I'm like, what the fuck does it matter what bathroom? I'm just like, what the hell? So I just think it's so stupid. And what I think is that they all wish that they were gay, or they just are very curious about trans people, and they just need to go watch some porn. Like, that's just my, like, and I can say that because I'm a girl, and then they get really awkward and
There
Listen,
is a correlation between areas with policies that are most strict against the LGBTQ community and consumption of gay and transgendered porn. So
Well,
you
so
might be on the
there
something
is
there.
there is a reason for that, and it's not one that
Numerical.
porn will
Yep.
help. It's because of the inherent fetishization of trans women, especially, and the desire to subjugate us as a class, as even evidenced in the Epstein files, where they talked about plans to turn us all into sex slaves, or evidence in the prison system where trans women are used as sex slaves. So it's all from a fetishization and dehumanization standpoint. So yeah, there's
But it's
that.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
now
just
is a
it's
bad time to mention that I shot porn with a trans woman.
It's
You did
okay.
what now?
To
Independent
learn more,
porn.
see his
I'm not.
OnlyFans.
I'm not. I'm not
Ghost that again?
adopting like an anti-porn stance here. By the way,
I'm getting
I am
water, guys.
adopting an anti-mainstream porn stance. All right,
I've been
amateur
holding off
porn,
on it, but
great.
now when I can get water and walk away for
Amateur porn, great, fine.
I don't want my. I
Mainstream
don't want.
porn can be awful.
Ladies
It
and
all
gentlemen,
depends on
thank you
how
for
it is done.
attending our
They
final
got
show
bad stuff
ever
on
before
there, man.
YouTube
Hey,
bans
I
us.
seen some shit on there. I seen some shit on there that made me turn it off. Like, y'all niggas is back. I'm sorry, excuse me. I said it. I said it, y'all.
We're gonna need to bleep that one, Sarge.
Yeah, every now and then it slip out. I'm black. It's all right. Listen,
Yeah,
here's the deal, man.
We
I'm
can
not
legalize
going
sex
to.
work, guys. It's fine.
can
That's what
I
legalize
I
do
think
sex
also
the
work.
agree with
solution
that.
is.
I do
That
also
yes,
agree with
it'll
we
that.
should
make it
also
safer, and then we wouldn't have
And
these
here's
awkward conversations because everybody would be fine because life would be just
everybody
good.
would be
Everybody would be
fine.
happy.
And
Yeah.
the biggest thing
Just
is
got really
not.
racy. I did not intend for that, but
It's all right, man. It's all right. I got two chips over here. Like
If you
they
open
knew,
the
they knew,
door,
they knew
I'm
what it was
walking
when they
in.
clicked on it. They knew what it was when they clicked on it, fam.
that's
Like
true.
when they saw the two chimps over here, like they know, like behind the black guy, they were like, they know this is whatever's happening here. I need to
I
sit down.
see. Listen,
So,
I wouldn't be able to pull
but-
off that background, but you're doing
Right.
it fine.
Yeah. You got
So-
it. For
I
us
just got
right
my
here.
fucking Warhammer minis in the background. All right, like that's all I got.
So here's the deal. Number one, just because we're on this, it's as easy as me scrolling down the first page of Shelby Campbell for Congress and seeing mugshots, right? Like it's what you're getting into when you click on this shit. Like this is what I'm saying, and that those who love it, and those who are intrigued by it will stay, and those who hate it just click off. Right? That's just and that's how you're supposed to campaign in my mind. Anyway, what I was going to say, not to poo-poo on your facts and your knowledge of that psychology, ma'am, Jamie. But I also know that they hate themselves because of their religion, which is why Grindr breaks down every time they have a convention, right? Now, the trans thing, I think, is also maybe a part of that, but what you said is a lot deeper than I could have ever gotten. But just the idea of LGBTQ as a whole, as sexuality as a whole, these people are closeted because of their religion, man.
So
Go ahead.
there's nuance to it, right? So I don't actually like their closeted argument. Like I am new to being trans. I am not new to being queer overall. I came out as bi when I was in high school, right? So I've been queer
Okay.
for a long time. And there is a fine line between the pattern recognition of noticing that Grindr shuts down when a Republican, a national convention happens, and that there are people who are repressed and lash out in hatred because there are repressed, and also not acknowledging that sometimes people are just fucking hateful and that people just hate you because they're ignorant.
No.
And
For sure.
sometimes that talking point can bleed into inadvertently blaming queer people for their own oppression, which is why I don't like that talking point a whole lot. But again, there's nuance to it because I would be a fool to say that, there aren't closeted Republicans, because there absolutely are. There very obviously is. But all of it boils down to the talking point really needs to be about exposure of people growing up, and this even circles way back to what we're talking about with fucking TPUSA in schools and everything, right? Right, exposure of people when they're growing up to the fact that it's okay to be gay, lesbian, bi, trans, ace, any of these letters under the umbrella, and that exposure will both defeat the repression and defeat the just pure hate.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Is it bad when in my comment section I say I'm gay as hell? Whenever somebody says I'm gay, and I say yes, I love it. I love it. I say,
oh hell no.
I tell them, but then in the same breath I go, you look like a gay ass sissy to me, because I know that it will hurt them.
So
to me,
there's
the reason I'm letting them know that I only say that to you because it hurts you and it doesn't hurt me. Yeah, I'm gay. You want some? Open it up. I got you.
So there's some nuance there. There's actually very specific nuance to the sissy part of it.
Right.
Because the sissy part of it can also be actually play into transphobic tropes.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have like fucking sissy porn and stuff like that, where it portrays being male to female as this.
Shelby, you all right? You all right over there?
I'm not trying to laugh at you guys. Like I'm just laughing with. Like I'm laughing with.
It is also okay to laugh, because this is one, laughter is a natural part of like human expression, and two, I'm sure you did not expect this conversation.
No, but fuck it. I'm
here
done. For it. But this is how we,
all right,
this is how we make it. Okay.
Yeah,
you don't get this on Meet the Press.
But like, so
no, it's things we have to talk about, because people don't talk and ask questions. So
when you have your very first serious interview with like mainstream media, when, not if, you get elected, I want you to think back to the time that you were on Sons of Liberty and realize that nothing they could say, do, or ask you is ever going to compare to this. And I want you to just shoot me a quick email like, hey, thanks for that one live stream that was super awkward with all the weird shit that you guys were having, because I just had an interview with Stephen Colbert and I ate it.
But also
with this
pointed questions on policy, and it was the whole gamut, Sarge. It was the whole gamut. You're gonna get it all here.
But like with the sissy stuff, it's a lot of it is also like with you remember when fucking Brian Nome, right? That story broke out. I avoided every fucking cis person talking about it on the internet. I avoided the Sons of Liberty admin group chat talking about it for the most part.
True, she did.
Because the way people talk about, the feminization, humiliation stuff and whatnot is often actually very invalidating to trans male to female identities. It does often play into the autogynephilia talking point. It often plays into the we're all just men in a dress kind of thing. Which is not intentional, but it is an easy mistake for cis people to make. And so when Doug, you talk about like, clapping back at somebody in the comments by being like, you look like a gay sissy kind of thing.
Only after saying I'm also gay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, so like there's nuance to it where like, you saying, yeah, I'm gay. What the fuck of it? No nuance to that. 100% fucking based. All right? That's fucking awesome, right? Do that shit. But being like, you look like a gay sissy, the way you come back at that can unintentionally play into some homophobic or transphobic tropes. And a better way to do that would be like, yeah, I'm fucking gay. You want some?
Yeah, or I'd just be like, wow, why
Just
are you
leave it at
thinking
that
about
simple.
me sucking some dick?
Right.
Just say
Or
that.
yeah,
So,
or even
and
just
then
be like,
they get
yeah,
awkward.
or even just be like, why the fuck you thinking about my fucking parts that much? There's a very
I,
very good channel called The
I think
Line, where
I think it's
a lot of the times they have trans folk answering transphobic questions and shutting them the fuck down. And
yeah.
Luxander, very popular YouTuber, they were on there recently in an episode I watched, and somebody was talking about like, oh, don't you know that they're gonna have to have get checked for prostate cancer? Doesn't matter how many hormones they take. One, that's a fabrication,
What?
because
What are we
if you
talking?
have a
Come on, bro.
prostate and you are on
That's
E
why I
long
call
enough,
them that.
your risks of prostate cancer will actually match those of cis women. But also, Luxander's response to that was, "Why the fuck are you thinking about the fun button in my butt? That's weird, right?"
Okay. So I think the main reason why is because I'm trying to bully them, and I know they're not actually
Yeah.
trans. See, I can't say that to. I would feel so bad to say that to someone who's actually trans.
Yeah,
But knowing
it's
that you're transphobic, it feels good to call you that because I know that it hurts you more because you're a fucking dumbass. And I
it
just
plays
need that
into the same
that you know what
phenomenon
I
of
mean?
like
I need that
it.
part. I
Well,
need that
plays
part.
it plays into the same
I want
phenomenon, unfortunately, where like, if somebody were to look at Caitlyn Jenner and be like, Caitlyn Jenner's a piece of shit, I'm going to misgender her. Right? It feels good to hurt somebody, but you're also tacitly saying that you think that respecting trans people is conditional on whether or not that person is a good person.
It's like me calling
outstanding
a
answer.
white person who's racist the N word. Like you
Right.
wouldn't want me to say that.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we definitely
Yeah.
don't want that. Especially not on this
Exactly.
show.
So
Outstanding.
Especially on this
Yeah.
show already.
Yeah.
Outstanding answer. That's why we stay true here, man. I love it. I love it.
No, it's a difficult and nuanced position, and I'm actually glad you asked so I could talk about it.
Yep. Awesome. So,
Now that we're
back
done
to
with
the
that,
economy.
back to the economy.
So, are you actually a Red Wings fan?
Let's talk macroeconomics.
no, because like if anything, I'd be what? Isn't that the Chicago Blackhawks? I lived in Illinois my whole life, so I like the
There you
Bulls.
go. See,
Yeah.
we got a smart one here. Chicago Blackhawks all the way.
The only correct answer as far as hockey teams is the Washington Capitals. I will accept nothing else.
You know what? I gotta go.
Shut up, Flyers fan.
I'm just saying, sent the Penguins home. That's all I'm saying.
Shut up.
I've done all I can.
I live
the Penguins
I've done
home.
all I can.
What's up?
I would rather jump off a roof than support the Penguins.
We got done talking about the LGBT
Now suicidal. Okay, calm down.
It's not that I want to. I just, I will never support the Penguins.
But the one thing I can't do is accept the Washingtons. I'm just playing.
All right. Well,
No, I'm just playing. I don't even know who the hell they are, man. I just know the Blackhawks. Yeah, I lived in Chicago.
I don't watch the white people ice skate. Come on.
Yeah,
literally.
He's like, I don't watch this fucking hockey bullshit. What the fuck?
It's the only sport. It's the only sport that isn't dominated by black folks, man. I'll give y'all one. Goddamn.
Yeah, right. Like, it's, I just like the pacing. I can't hang with football. Like, it's just too slow paced. Hockey, love that shit.
I'm 5'6". I went to a private school, and the same school where the white guy told me, he said, "You're not black, you're Jamaican," and I was like, "What the absolute fuck? Like, you just have too much money is your problem.
You're
like, you wouldn't say that if you went to the school." No, like the school that I went to before coming here, you wouldn't have said that to me, but I let them have it because I realized they're just idiots. But that school had me on the basketball team, and I sucked. I sucked. I was 5'6". My dear,
it's okay.
I was 5'6".
And I also suck at basketball.
How many black people were in your school? I had like 4 in my school.
That's me. That's
exactly.
Me. That's
so that's
me.
exactly.
And so
that's
they were
why
like,
you were there.
it broke their minds that I couldn't play. It broke their minds.
Oh my
I
God,
promise you, man. It broke their minds. They didn't believe it. They had me on the team and they kept putting me out there like it's gonna click at some point. Like it has to. And finally they were like, you know what? I think he's better on the bench. Like halfway through the season, I'm like, I told you I couldn't play. I'm here for the team. Whatever you need me to do, I'll get the titles. I can't play.
Doug, you should have tried hockey. Your low center of gravity would have been great.
Yeah, I could have done that. I think I could have done that. Yeah,
weaving in and out of defenses.
I did wrestling was what I was good at. Wrestling.
That makes sense actually. Yeah.
Anyway, we've gone way too far.
We've gone all over.
We have a guest.
We've gone too far.
Questions.
Shelby, you are a true sport. Thank you so much for being here, answering the tough questions.
Because holy shit, did we go off on a tangent tonight?
Yeah, we usually don't even get this bad. This one was just, I don't know. I think it's because she's here. It's your damn fault, Jamie.
I'm on tons of live streams, Doug. Okay, all right.
I was like, it's me. I talked about. I don't know what I said.
Really, it's a combination of you two together that seem to be the problem.
Yeah, I can't be here when Jamie's here. That's the problem. I can't
Thursday,
be here when Jamie's here.
I was keeping things on track. Okay, all right.
That's true. And the last Tuesday, Doug managed not only to be here but to not have his equipment fail like 3 times in the middle of the show. So
I'll tell you what,
there we go.
Everybody was on point.
You know what? I got your equipment failure right here. I got your equipment failure.
And there he goes again.
That's
gone.
I can't hear now.
You can't hear anything now? Doug broke everything.
Doug broke everyone.
What the fuck?
Bye, guys. I think I'm leaving. Bye.
What the fuck just happened?
Doug left. It broke Shelby's connection.
It broke her audio.
And then things passed on from there.
How is that even possible?
I don't know. I don't know.
Accelerated quickly.
I have no idea.
Wow.
I have not had that much to drink. This is not my fault.
And I don't drink, so can't be me.
This is
obviously this is Doug's fault.
Yes.
Everything was fine until Doug did whatever it is he did.
Yep.
That's just science.
That's true.
That's exactly why I came back. That's exactly why I came back to hear this bullshit right here. That's exactly.
I'm just saying, it is science.
Doug,
it is clear science.
Shelby's setup, dude. What the hell?
And now we've lost our guest.
Well, who are we going to scapegoat? Who are we going to scapegoat here? Black people or trans people? Maybe both?
I mean, come on.
Maybe we can get a black trans person.
Black folks season right now, man.
We could invite Cat Black and scapegoat her.
There you go.
Shout out Cat Black, by the way. Phenomenal channel.
Yeah, you broke her. You broke her audio.
I think she did. Which is possibly the most abrupt, fastest, and funniest sign off we've had from a guest.
No, give me credit for that shit, then. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not upset about this because it's really, really funny.
I'm sorry.
Really, really funny.
I meant to make I just signed out. I just meant to slam the door on the way out, and I didn't know that it was going to break you guys' stream. Usually, you're unaffected by my signing out.
Well, when you signed out and slammed the door, I think it startled her, and she beat a hasty retreat too. So
it's.
Oh man, did she leave on purpose?
I think. Yeah, she wasn't able to hear anybody. She was like, I can't hear anybody. I'm gonna dip. All right, bye.
She dipped.
Which can't blame her, but really fucking funny.
I failed you. Is what happened.
Okay.
I
really
was gonna leave.
I was beard.
Yeah, I was gonna leave because you know me. It's bedtime for the kiddo, but I wasn't expecting to
It's like 8:30. Bedtime's not till
break.
like 5 a.m.
Hey, that's only on.
You
That's only when
you
COVID was
kids these
here.
days.
That's only during COVID.
For those
I
of
mean,
us
I
who
think
are up
that's
at
a
6,
convenient place to end the stream anyway. Like,
Yeah.
That's pretty true.
we will not be taking
Yeah.
questions about Tim's beard. We will be cutting off the stream here.
That's accurate.
I have a beard. What I've
He's
always
still-
had a beard. Well, I
The
haven't
beard
always
is
had a
still
beard,
there.
but
I don't know, like, what would anybody have to say about that even?
I don't know. That's going to be our stream for tonight. Thank you to our departed guest, if she is watching, or her brother. She mentioned her brother. So, hi, bro. What's up?
It was wonderful talking with you, Shelby, if you can hear this.
Thank you, Jamie, Matt, and Doug, for punching into the stream. And that's going to be our show for tonight. I have a list of our
Grievances?
upcoming guests. I mean, you could call them grievances. I don't know. I'll just rattle off the list real fast because we do have a couple of extra special live streams that are on non-Tuesday nights. I think we just had one, so we have one left. We have Tyler Vandenberg from California District 6. We have Joel Lava, that is his last name, from California District 30. We have Effie Phillips Staley, New York District 17. And then Monday, June 8th, we have Wisconsin gubernatorial candidate Francesca Hong. The day after that, June 9th, we have Eric Turwey from Oklahoma District 2. And then we have Nicole Laughlin from Florida District 26. That's going to get us through mid-June. Those are our streams for all whopping 40 to 50 people that bother tuning into our live stream, which really fucking pisses me off because our comments on every post we make are littered with people like, why don't the Dems have any good candidates? Motherfucker, watch our goddamn streams. That's what, bitch. Otherwise, miss me with that bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. That's what. It makes me so mad.
It should.
Because
it absolutely should.
You know,
people are like, where are your rant videos? How about you come watch the live stream and I'll fucking rant, asshole.
I tell a bunch of my friends and loved ones, you know, when I'm going to be on a stream. I don't tell my family, like my parents and my siblings, because they can fucking hear me while I'm on a stream anyway, so they already know what I'm saying. But, you know, I hope sometimes it brings some shit in.
No, it's not that. It's not about the amount of people that are here. What it's about is everybody who cosplays on fucking internet and says how important it is and that the fascists are here and we don't have anybody, still can't find an hour to find somebody to vote for because it's easier to be a fucking coward. It's easier to just say that because you can just say that and still have a good look. You can just say that and still be seen as an activist. You can just say that and still be seen online as somebody who's doing something and knows something and is intelligent about the vote. Meanwhile, you just want the rant. Here you go. That's what you wanted. Because when people are giving you that, you're the same type of person that says there's no more good books, but you haven't been to the library. Like you're the same type of person that says there's nothing good to eat, but you haven't been to the fucking grocery store or you didn't go to. You're just lying to yourself. You're complaining. And that's why he's upset. I'm not upset, obviously. I'm just explaining it to you. If you happen upon this, that's why he's upset that there's only 40 people. I don't care how many people are on here. Neither does he. What we're saying is don't cosplay on Facebook and Blue Sky about how important it is to fight fascism, and you can't fucking find the time to see someone else to vote for who's not a fascist.
So
that's all.
I have
Democrat.
I have some thoughts on that. One, yes, Doug. That was fire as fuck. Two, it was very funny that your setup froze while you were doing that. As usual. Three, If all you do is fucking post on Facebook and you don't even fucking vote with your wallet, which is the bare goddamn minimum, go fuck yourself. And 4, Autumn, if you are watching this, we'll get on Helldivers after.
Okay, you know what? That's it. We're done.
That's it.
That's our show for tonight. 2 claps and a Rick. Woo!
It was crazy.
All right, y'all
tonight,
get the
man.
fuck
It
out of my
was
office.
going in
All right.